Hello, ladies and gentlemen, as well, and welcome to this channel. If you ever want to know what you can do to really make a difference in this world, my hope here on this channel is to address the underlying core issues that are the reason we are continually in firefighting mode. It all feels so overwhelming, so let's get started. Let's talk about finding our voice, standing up for ourselves, and the big lie. These words are just as easy to say as any others, but as we know, living these words is difficult. As women, our lives generally evolve around this struggle with a flurry of other very valid distractions taking priority, like raising children, holding down a job, or both. It is our past, our present, and it defines our future. So let's take a look at the possible reasons, what we can do, and how that plays out. First of all, the work needs to be done internally in order for it to be expressed externally and then reflected in the world we live in such a way that it has staying power. Without the internal work, the dynamics set in place in our external world will not hold or have any staying power. It starts with the belief that we are worthy of speaking up for ourselves, that we are worthy of respect. This continues to be a huge struggle for many women. There are two components to this belief, and I refer to it as the big lie. The first, and initially the most important component, is to realize that, generally speaking, not only do women subconsciously believe they are not as good as or less than men, but that men believe this as well. And I think we are much more attuned with the fact that men don't perceive us as equals than we are of our own deficient beliefs. I also use the word subconscious because all we need to do is look around us to see this belief reflected in our daily lives. I've heard some men say that women do not have the capacity to compartmentalize well, which is fascinating because when I heard that, I immediately compartmentalized them. We are, in fact, very capable of many things and certainly much more than we realize. This makes it the responsibility of both parties involved in being accountable and willing to shift the dynamics into healthy ones. We cannot put all the blame on one party when deep down the other party believes this as well. In other words, we cannot expect others to treat us equally and with respect when we don't believe it as well. We may think we do, even swear by it, but dig a little deeper and you may very well realize that we have made choices in our lives based on those beliefs. Getting in touch with our subconscious beliefs and shifting any false narratives that hold us back has tremendous power. And it is up to us to change. We have to change. We have become so immune to the pervasiveness of male dominance in our world of communities, businesses, and religions that it just seems normal, and we know of no other reality. Secondly, the action of speaking out or speaking up for ourselves or even others is powerful, it is exhausting, potentially dangerous, and can cause serious issues in our relationships. It is primarily exhausting because our feelings, thoughts, ideas will be seriously discounted or completely dismissed. It is a battle, and at times it feels as if our existence doesn't even matter other than to have and raise children. And finally, speaking out may very well result in the loss of someone you love dearly. Speaking up for yourself is your way of drawing a boundary as well. It is the gift you give yourself, and when it's done, and for the right reasons, you are rewarded with gratitude and pride. It might be very uncomfortable as well, but we are always being given the challenge of drawing healthy boundaries. And as you continue to draw them, you will get better and better at it and realize also that you are strong. You do not need to be less than for others to be loved or accepted. As we all know, it is more important for you to accept and love yourself than others who might need to feel better than you. So, again, the reasons we might not speak up for ourselves are deep down, we may not believe we are worthy, whether we realize this or not, or that what we have to say is important. This is also a component of feeling shame, which Brene Brown addresses beautifully with her quote, "Who do we think we are? And we are never good enough." I highly recommend listening to her videos addressing this subject. We fear we will be shut down by having our words discounted or completely dismissed. We see and probably have experienced this response religiously in our own lives and in the world around us. Based on this, we know the odds are against us, and it's difficult for others to believe what occurred when it's difficult for us to believe it ourselves. This response also encourages our feelings of shame. We fear for our physical well being and possibly that of others, primarily those most vulnerable. Please never speak out or take any action if you feel you are not in a safe environment, and seek help in your community and with professionals. We fear being excommunicated from our community, whether it is family, our religious organization, or our circle of friends. This also can happen when speaking up for others. I've seen that. The last four of these are blatant forms of oppression and power plays. It is important for others to do this to minimize the competition. Women also compete with women, so it is vital we support other women who are working on healthier versions of themselves. Let me be clear, every single one of these fears is valid, very powerful, and can be absolutely paralyzing. And as a group, its power can never be underestimated. Having the strength, faith, and courage to speak up for ourselves is no small undertaking and an ongoing process. The third and last part of standing up for ourselves and others is to make the changes in our society, religions, and judicial system that support the equality in ways that are very real and tangible. One example is that sexual predators around the world continue to evade justice with the statute of limitations as law, thereby limiting the time frame in which a victim can file charges, allowing the predator to no longer be accountable to the law and justice. So, to wrap this up with some key thoughts, stop believing the big lie. Check in with yourself regularly to see if you respect and believe in yourself equally, and to your respect and belief in men. Right. Stop believing the big lie. Check in with yourself regularly to see if you respect and believe in yourself just as much as you respect and believe in men. Take the challenge. Start speaking out on behalf of yourself or others. Observe their responses. You may very well be shocked. If it becomes too difficult, take a break, let yourself recover, and then continue. Never give up. Changes to our laws. Why do we continue to risk putting victims and others that are vulnerable to even more violations without any justice? Not only do these laws support crimes, they encourage even more crimes and protect the criminal. My final thoughts: we must refuse to be treated anything less than equally and with respect. If we say it can never be done, then it won't be done. All we need to do is participate. And the big question that just seems to hang in the air for me is, why do women have to fight for equality when men don't? Where does it say that we should be treated any differently? It seems this imbalance of power is the basis for our struggles in communities, cultures, and countries around the world. And when we can create balance, we can also begin to heal as individuals and as a collective. I wish you all the best.